Hi, I'm Liz Franks, and this is my report on development in technology for kindergarten through the 12th grade. Bring your own device. It has been predicted that this will happen 1 year or less. For the most part, it's already in several schools across the nation. At the time that the Horizon report was conducted, the 50% of the schools that interviewed had put in bring your own device as their method of using technology. Just as bring your own device in the workplace has created an on-the-go effective working environment, it is also occurring when students can choose the type of device that is most effective for themselves. The point of bring your own device is to allow each user the ability to load onto their device of choice personalized content. This move gives the students ownership of their own learning. It has been proven to cultivate a continuous learning experience. At work, we are looking at ways to introduce technology education into our homeschool program. Parents are asking us to teach the students ways to use their device in creative educational manners. Because our students are homeschooled, bring your own device is the only option that we have. The cloud is also predicted to be implemented into schools across the nation in 1 year or less. But once again, just as with bring your own device, many schools across the nation are already using the cloud. Cloud computing refers to using an on-demand storage service to gather, store, and share the data. It encourages collaboration, and Google Drive has definitely demonstrated how easy it is to support learning with its document sharing ability. Apps are the most popular way for using the cloud for kindergarten through 12th grade students at home. The biggest issue for the schools is the privacy of student personal data, but school districts are trying to address this issue. An advantage of the cloud is that it cancels the need for IT staff, saving on operational costs. When we do add technology to our subjects in our homeschool program, the cloud will be our only option. Since I would need to gather information to share on my personal device, it becomes a matter of which cloud service or app I'll be using. Games and gamification is very popular with students at home. The concept is to integrate the gaming elements that students use at home when they're playing the games on their Xbox, PS4, their Wii Cube, and other such things in the educational gaming world at school. The same elements of going on a quest, points gained, badges, and increase in difficulty to advanced, and of course collaboration will be all part of that gamification. Once again, at work, several of the parents have asked for suggestions of games their children can play to help collaborate with other homeschool students and public school friends. They are also looking for games that can help improve areas their children are struggling in. So I'm always trying to research which ones would meet the needs of each of our students. Learning analytics. The report noted that learning analytics can be used to help target at-risk students. It can also benefit the students that want to know more about themselves, or for students who are gifted in some way. The process has been used in leading businesses around the world for approximately 4 to 6 years. This is how the process works. We gather the data, capture, share, and we select from that gathering what type of data we want to look at. The example might be reading. That information on that particular student will then travel to the information processing. It is then processed through it. We make predictions at that point, and then once the predictions have been made, the knowledge is then refined to that individual student who is struggling or who is reading way beyond his or her grade, and we use that information for sharing. We don't just share with other teachers or parents. We can also use this information by sharing it with the students to help them make some different types of choices. The idea is predicted to be implemented 2 to 3 years. That's probably about how it's going to go. The Internet of Things. It's predicted 4 to 5 years. I would say that that's probably a pretty good estimate of when that will be implemented into the schools. Now explaining it is a little more difficult. The Internet of Things connects objects that are not connected to the network, but contains information. Let's use the example of a credit card. You're at a convention and you want to buy something. The magnetic strip contains information that at one time could only be accessed through a small source of readers, like those machines that you would implement for connection to the cash register. The vendors, in this case though, doesn't have one of those. So they use their iPhones with those new card readers that are connected to it. This is where the process of the Internet of Things begins. Protocols are used, and there are 4 layers of protocols involved in the Internet of Things. The first layer is the application layer. This is the point where the layer reads the information and passes the information to the second layer. At the second layer, which is known as the transporter, in that point, the information is then divided up into all these various pieces so that the specific information that is needed can be sent through the third layer, which is an internet address. At that point, the information travels through that internet address to the final layer, where the information is used to charge you for your purchase. In the Horizon report, they noted that it's not knocking on the door yet, the process, but I do think it's going to be implemented. How I would use it if I were in a schooling environment is with ebooks. The information could read the ebook that a student is reading and determine how well they're doing, and either recommend more advanced books or recommend less advanced books. So although it's not the Internet of Things that's actually doing it, but the teacher who is getting that information that is making that decision. I think it does have some application in the schools. Finally, we have wearable technology. These are the things such as satellite watches, watches that have cell phones on it, the devices that you can wear that measures your step, how long you sleep, what type of sleep you're getting, the new wristbands. Many of these devices that were discussed in the Horizon report, of course, are already being used in the schools. They're tools that can be worn over extensive periods. For my use, I would say that I enjoy having these types of devices because I do run the PE program at Huntsville Botanical Garden, and I use the satellite watches for directional things or for distances that I want them to travel, or I want them to travel at a certain time pace. And so I use a lot of the satellite capability in which the kids put on their watch, turn on their watch, or borrow one of mine and do something that has to do with physical activity. It will be probably implemented, it says 4 to 5 years. But eventually, wearable devices will also be used in the schools in about the time frame that it shows. Thank you for joining me on this adventure.